Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Dr. Kemi Olunlayo. Today is November 27th, 2021. I hope you all had a great Thanksgiving if you're in America. That's one of my longest holidays ever. Well, it looks like I'm going to the beach today, but I'm in Lagos, Nigeria. I'm going to a lot of places today, including the beach. But I just wanted to do this video for you because a lot of you that were supportive of my son and myself, and I'm talking about my oldest son who's 35 in a couple of months. Enitan Ogunade. That's what he's called himself from day one. I named my son that. I actually hyphenated Olunloyo to Ogunade because when my child grows up one day, I want him to know his real father. Well, I told the story of BABS Ogunade, the executive vice chairman of the Nigerian Basketball Federation. It all started with Nengi from BB Niger when they were doing the 23 challenge. Nengi said at 23, I have a house, a car, I'm doing well, blah, blah. She kind of really talked of her achievements. I kept watching, but I didn't enter. So I decided, let me do my own. Okay. One of my fans said, Auntie Kim, let's tell, the world what you were doing at 23. And I wrote it. I said at 23, I was making $50,000 a year as a pharmacist. I just graduated and I had a 6-month-old baby for a man that impregnated me at 22 the previous year. And I was a single mother taking care of my child alone. I had a car, I had a house, and I had a great job. And that's what I wrote. And everybody was curious to know who this guy was. I said, his name is Babatunde. I'm not going to say his name until Father's Day. And so when I did the 23 challenge, I basically told you Babatunde. So you guys had your long list of Babatunde. Babatunde Fowler, Babatunde Fashola. I actually said the person was in their late 50s or early 60s. So Fowler, Fowler, Fashola, former governor, Amen Estate, Babatunde, everybody was fitting in that age range. But I said it's none of them. So you guys didn't guess right. On Father's Day 2021, June, I posted on my Instagram that the person that impregnated me at 22 abandoned me and his mother stood by him throughout was Babatunde Ogunade. I hardly knew the man. And I said, young ladies, get yourselves together. Don't end up like me. Because today I have 3 children for 2 guys. And at the end of the day, my oldest son, okay, is going to be 35 and he's never met his father because his father abandoned me when I was 22. I mean, I simply went on holidays to London where I go every summer, and we had a flat there and everything. My sisters and I would come by and everything. So when I arrived in London, I went to a friend's house, okay, Fallout Tegbola and Rita Arunse. Those two were my friends at the time. And I was there at the party. It was a get together. We have those in London all the time. You just go to somebody's house, next thing everybody's eating and drinking, and it's a party, and music is playing. So Babs Ogwani basically was there. I met him there. He was tall, handsome, everything, Sha. And maybe I was fine too, when I was young. And at the end of the day, he came up to me, introduced himself. We were friends. At the party, we discussed things. I said I was a pharmacy student in my 3rd year, blah, blah. And the day after that, now remember, in those days, 1986, there was no cell phones and any of that. It was a home phone number for everybody. Everybody had a phone. And if you didn't have a phone, you go to the phone place, a phone booth in London, those red things, and you make a phone call. So Babs and I became friends. Now, I was supposed to be in London for 2 months. That's how I go June, July, and then go back to America in August for school. So Babs and I were friends, and he said he wanted to go out with me. He wanted to date me, and he said he was schooling somewhere in London. And I said, I don't really date people who are across the ocean. I'm in America, in London. Okay, so he came by my place, and we had sex, okay? Now, let me tell you something about me. I don't lie. If I tell you something, and I'll tell you straight up, a lot of you are liars, cheats, and frauds. I'm not one of those. There's been times when you wanted to have sex, there was no condom, and you just risked it. The man pulled out before he ejaculates. That's what we did, basically. I didn't think I would get pregnant. I was a pharmacy student, a medical profession student, and I didn't think I would get pregnant. Imagine how stupid I was. And a young man, Babs told me, was 30. I was 22. I don't know if that was his real age, but it turned out to be his real age. So we did it, and I don't really think Babs, we did it, and I don't think Babs even ejaculated. At the end of the day, hey, we did it again. let me tell you, it was really fun. You know, when you have good sex, you have good sex. So temptation, we tried it again. But remember, when you have sex and you pull out, you're not supposed to have sex again. Because if you go back in, that semen at the tip of your penis is going to get somebody pregnant. That's what happened to me, basically. 22:30. A man I hardly knew. Okay, 2 months in London. At the end of the first month, I started getting sick, vomiting, everything. What was going on? I went to the doctor. Doctor said, you're pregnant. Only came for my holiday, for someone I don't even know. I called Babs. She said he was in love with me and everything. Babs said, you can't be pregnant so soon. Excuse me, you can be pregnant in one day. I was like, we have to talk about this. He hung up on me. So I actually took a cab. I went to his house. I got to the door. He didn't let me in. Babs did not let me in his house. He did not let me in. He sent me away. 1 or 2 more calls, he hung up on me. So I went back to America at the end of the holiday in 1986. I went back in July of 1986. And that was it. I have not seen Babs since July of 1986. Fast forward, it's 36 years later, 35 years later. I raised Enitan myself. My parents were, I wouldn't say they were supportive, maybe 7 out of 10. They weren't happy. Which family would be happy when your child has a baby out of wedlock and they're in pharmacy school of all places, you know? So my mom came, helped me when I had the baby, you know, but before that, my mom went to his mom. They found out who they were, went to his mom to see his mom. His mom said, my son is 30, he's old enough to have a child. He's not old enough to get married. Please go and ask your daughter who she slept with. Basically, the mother called me a slut, who she slept with. Then I found out that Fola Otegbola, Fola, wherever you are today, I hope you had a miserable life throughout the last 57 years, because we're 57 now. Rita, you were part of it. It turned out that Fola and Rita told Babs that I had a boyfriend in America, or I must have someone in America. Well, I didn't have a boyfriend. That is what they said ticked Babs off. Really? Okay. He's a kid now. So at the end of the day, a 30-year-old man impregnated me at 22. By the time it was all over, 2 men called me from Nigeria. One of them was Kunle Ogunade. The other one was Dele Ogunade. The Dele is the father. The Kunle is the mother. The Dele told me Babs has always been a bad kid. Ladies man, blah, blah, blah. His mother and I are not together anymore. He lives with his mother and she lets him get away with things. Please, when that baby is born, name him Enitan. That's all I heard from Babs' father and his uncle. They were both on the phone with me. When the baby was born, they called to greet me. They never sent me anything. In those days, people in Nigeria are supposed to send you money because the dollar was even lower than the naira. So if Bab's family had sent me 2,000 naira, I would be getting $2,000. They didn't send me anything. And as time went on, I never heard from them again. Fast forward 35 years, Bab's father, Dele Ogunade, has passed away a long time. Chief Kunle Ogunade is alive. He's the patriarch of their family now. He just turned 80. Chief Kunle Ogunade, I called him. He didn't remember me or anything. Okay, good luck, bye, and I hung up. On Father's Day, I announced the father of my child being BABS Ogunade. The whole world knew. The internet broke into pieces, all that stuff that you guys do. And what happened after that? Well, someone contacted me in his family, then another one, cousins, different ones, all their last names Ogunade. A female, Diola Ogunade, a male, Wale Ogunade. Everybody's, this is our own. Oh, they were looking at Annie's picture, my son. Ultimately, they wanted to connect with Annie. And I connected them with Annie. Annie would be talking to Uncle Wale Ogunade. Annie would be talking to Auntie Diola. Annie was talking to all of them except the father. When the whole thing now came out, you know, they'll be doing their own talking on their side. They went to their uncle, the patriarch. Chief, you have to do something about this or this one, that one. When I called Chief Ogunade, Kunle Ogunade, he was telling me this stuff about, are you trying to blackmail us? Me trying to blackmail you? I don't want anything from you. I raised a son that's autistic for 35 years. And he was profoundly autistic from 2 years old to almost 19, 20. And he would punch me in the face, beat me, tear up the doors, everything. He was extremely violent. Some of you know what I went through. Also, Akpata, if you're watching this video, okay, you're on Facebook. Also, Akpata, Iyan Akpata. Those are the people that babysat for me. Suru Wayne, Debbie Makowski. I can mention other people that babysat for me. At the end of the day, a lot of my friends were there for me. Others were not. Rita and Fola, Like I said, wherever you are, I hope you had a miserable life until now, if you're even still alive. At the end of the day, what kind of friends were they? These kind of situations made me withdraw from friendship. That's why I never made friends growing up. My son was very, very high functioning. And then he started talking. At 14, my son called me, Mommy. A child that was profoundly autistic that couldn't talk. I worked so hard. And at the end of the day, he was a success story. All the travels and all the things I went through raising my son, Enitan. It was hard, but I suffered. I left the United States because of my son. My son almost killed me in my house in 2006. The police will come. It got very racist in Georgia. One officer came to my house at 2 o'clock in the morning. It was a black officer. He said, a lot of the white officers were discussing the station how they waited for my son to actually kill me. And then they can charge him with murder, charge another black boy, autistic boy, with murder. I haven't written a book yet, but because I'm not a book writer, I mostly talk. I will do a documentary. Today, my son is 34-year-old. He's going to be 35. He works 3 jobs. He is still under the state in a way. The state supports him, rather. He lives in an apartment, independent living. Canada did a lot more for him. Independent living, goes to work every day because of their attention span. Enitan works 3 jobs, or I think it's 2 or 3 jobs. He works as security guard at one stadium for events. He works as security guard at a bank, a credit union, and the third one, I believe, he works at the library. All 3 incomes put together. He cannot work an 8-hour shift or 9-hour shift, and he's doing fine. Until Tunde Ogunade, BABS Ogunade, went out to look for my son. In all that stuff that happened on Instablog, Instagram, all the posts and everything, you would think that BABS will call me. They gave me his number. I called him. He hung up on me. I called him from another phone. He talked to me. I said, BABS, hi, this is Kemi Lawyer. It's been a long time. He goes like, continue. Go on, I'm listening. Well, guess what? Is that all you can say? The line just cut off on a tone that looked like bad weather. We had heavy rain that day. They got, okay, I didn't call him back. Why? You know what I did in 2006 with his family, trying to get their attention that their son impregnated me. I had the option to remove the baby. I had the option for many things, but I didn't. But it takes 2 to tango. And that's what happened here. So eventually, I had to leave America, and I came back to Nigeria. We moved to Canada. He graduated school. They sent him back to Nigeria because I wasn't there anymore. Went through a lot with him in Nigeria, and then we had to go to Canada, and Canada really helped because he banged my head on the wall and almost killed me. And that's why the Canadian police came in and took him away, and he was in a group home, and he got rehabilitation. Fast forward, Enitan is what they call Aspergers Syndrome today. He's a high-functioning man. He has 3 jobs, all 3 incomes together. He's doing fine. He can't support me because he really, works hard to make his money. He doesn't make the money to support me. But I learned a lot from autism and Asperger's Syndrome. I'm going to write a book for him as his biographer. He told me he wanted to write a book. So with all this going on, BABS avoided me. And I just said, why am I running after this guy? He doesn't want to talk to me, obviously. He wants to reject me. Now, I'm going to tell you a story that's very funny because it's not funny. Actually, what kind of words are those? I'm going to tell you a story that's very strange because somebody in his family contacted me. So many of them, Ogunades, contacted me and told me that one of the reasons why it's very important they see Enitan is that their family is a royal family. I said, oh, really? Ogunade? Okay, they are there. They're a royal family. I understood that, they're in a long line of kings and that the Awujale of Ijebu is the king now. Ijebu people. Awujale has been one of the longest kings there. He's just as old as our own king, Alafi. That when the Ajale passes away and that the Ogunades are next. Do you remember when the Shijuades were king in Ife? And they said the Ogunsis are next in the ruling house. And they had one boy there, Enitan Ogunsi, which is the king of Ife now. the ruling house, this is what they use here in Nigeria. So the next ruling house is the Ogunade ruling house after the Saujale. Sikira Adetono is not dying any soon. But let's assume that something were to happen and this king actually passed away. The Ogunades are next. Their uncle, who said, I want to blackmail them, am I trying to blackmail them? I'm still calling their uncle at 80 years old. Someone was calling when he was in his 30s, 40s. Okay, at the end of the day, that person told me that Uncle Kunle said, Chief Kunle Ogunade, an oil and gas magnate, he's filthy rich. Kunle Ogunade said that he's not going to be king because he's 80. And all the Yoruba kings are young now, which we know. So one of you is going to be king, which means his son, Babs, or another Ogunade person that I was told. So there are three people in their 50s. Babs is going to be 65 on December 17th. There are three people in their 50s, two people in their 50s, one in their 60s that's going to be king. One died earlier this year of diabetes. Now, which leaves two people, Babs and someone. That's if the Awujale dies. If he doesn't die, that king is forever. Awujale wouldn't even die till 200 years old. But I'm telling you that if something were to happen and the Ogunades were to be king, one of those two is going to be king. And if they can be king, okay, my son might be the next king in Ijebu-Ode. And this person said, you might be sitting there now and you don't even know you're the mother of the king. I said, really? Is he coming to America or coming to Ijebu-Ode? Whichever it is, we're coming. So I laughed it off and everything. At the end of the day, it was not funny. Because Ifa is what they use, their oracle. Ifa is going to discover my child missing. There's a child out there that you have not accepted, you have not taken care of. You can't be king. Next ruling house, please. That could happen to them, and this will be a total disgrace. I'm not supposed to say that part out now because the king is alive. I'm saying it now because it's going to cause politics. Ogun State governor is the one that, all these governors and chieftaincy people are the one that do it. But it's important that people to know, we're not forcing ourselves. Joseph was rejected by his entire family and he became prime minister. We're not forcing ourselves on the Ogunade. We just want them to know that my son exists. Fast forward. My son calls me and he does an interview with me. I'll play it for you later. And then what happens next will shock you. Two young ladies, one's 21, the other 29. I think it's 21 and 28. The two young ladies went in Instagram DM to my son and said, hello, hi, we bear the same last name. Could we be related? What kind of question is that? My son said, what kind of question is that? I'm Enitan Ogunade on this profile, but my real name is Ogunade Ogunade. Go to the point. My son is very blunt too. The two ladies said, we're your sisters. Our dad fathered you. My son said, what are they talking about? Who told them? Well, they all look alike anyway. I had nothing to do with this, but in April of 2020, during the pandemic, my son met these two young ladies in London, England, where they went to school. And their father, BABS OGUNADE, is also my son's father. So somebody has been watching all this thing all along. I didn't see anything. Of course, it's Bosola now. Bosola and I grew up together in the same area there, and she dated my first cousin. That's BABS OGUNADE's wife, now ex-wife. Bosola knew that I was pregnant with Babs and did nothing about it. You married women out there and you know your husbands have children outside. Know what's going on before it becomes too late and something happens. I can't get into why they broke up. It's so complicated and very bad. And it'll cause a scandal. It's not my business. But she didn't do the right thing. She didn't get her husband to acknowledge that he had a son with me. Knowing that that's somebody I might pass high school with. At the end of the day, when they broke up, Bosola now sent her children to my son. At least she's the one that did that. The children are very good friends now. They're siblings. They call each other from America, London, everything. I know their Instagram pages have been in there. Like I said, one's 21, one's 29. The 29-year-old has no kids, not married. The 21-year-old, no. Both of them told my son, my father apparently has a very big communication problem. No, it's not just with you ladies. It's with me too. It's with everybody. And your mom self. He didn't send us anything for our graduation, blah, blah, blah. We're not talking. But anyway, his children are talking. 2 girls, 1 son. And I'm still here. Next phase, my son starts to send a message to his father. But before that, let me come back and tell you the paternity story. I'm Dr. Kemi Olunloyo, Lagos, Nigeria, November 27th, 2021. BABS OGUNADE continued. And some of you have seen this stuff on YouTube. I'm just going to rehash it and continue with the latest, because a lot of times you want to learn the latest update, and I'm telling you the latest now. So after all that wrangling on Father's Day, BABS followed the Olympic team, basketball Olympic team, to America and then off to Tokyo for the Olympics. While they're in America, they wore Sam Sultan shirts and the flag of Nigeria to pay a tribute on exhibition matches. BABS contacted my son. He got his number and called him and told him to meet him in New Jersey. My son was lured, L-U-R-E-D, to trick somebody to come over. He's autistic and he's high functioning, but he can't process everything like we do. If you're a 34-year-old and your father that's never done anything for you throughout your life, abandoned your mom, calls you and says, come and meet me in New Jersey, what's the first thing you're supposed to tell him? Have you spoken to my mom in Nigeria? Do you know my mom is actually in Nigeria? Do you know you owe us 18 years of child support? But my son didn't know that. He spoke to him, he was excited, and he went there. He took the train, transit, he knows his way around. And then they picked each other up. I saw the conversation on his WhatsApp. He sent it to me. There were two people in the car, a woman driving and a man next to it. And he said he was introduced to them as this is my brother and my sister. Not your uncle or auntie, my brother and your sister. BABS Ogunade's sister that lives in America. Where were they going? Hi, how are you? Where were they going? They drove my son. And I told my son, you're not supposed to get in a car with strangers, meet strangers, whatnot. But because it was somebody that could be his father, that's why he was excited. That's why you saw the photo when he held his father. His father did not hug him. He hugged his father and said, finally, I meet my father after 34 years. Guys, you saw everything. Do you know, I wrote on Instablog Nigeria comments, I hope you guys had a DNA test too. Not knowing that that was exactly what happened. I just wrote that. On that day, they got in the car and they drove to a clinic. They took Eni, they were going to a clinic. When they got to the clinic, it was a DNA lab. They swabbed my son's mouth and father swabbed his own, and they said the results would be ready in 7 days. Okay, Dad, it's so nice to meet you. Where should they go? Shouldn't they go to a restaurant and eat? Shouldn't they have a chat? No. BABS took him back to that train station to go back to Philadelphia. And he just got back on the train and they took the photo and then he said bye to them. Here's $500 pocket money. Nice to meet you. I'll see you again. Didn't give him a penny. Didn't give him transportation. And here's money for the train. And you know, Eni will say, I have my train pass here. Still collect the money now. He didn't want us to give that boy transportation, nothing. That boy just left and went back. 2 days later, I started yelling at the boy on the phone. Why did you post that picture on Instagram? Why did you do it? It was everywhere because my son posted it. I saw it and I posted it on Instablog and everybody moved it around. My son started yelling at me. Mom, can you take that picture away? My dad was yelling at me. And next thing I said, this guy has separated my son from me. My son started cursing me. I said, don't curse me, okay, Eni. Don't even try it. He tried to get that boy to be enemies with me. First of all, he was bossing who playing BABS or Los America or Roman. Like me, like so sorry. Came all these years. I'm sorry what happened. Oh, Boss America or Roman. Like any I learn mommy lost DNA test. How are we hiding Kokon? We're not hiding anything, BABS. My child took the DNA test and boom. He just sent him back on the train and went home. His cousins called him in America. He blocked all of them on WhatsApp for communicating with me. He arrived back in Nigeria, and I know the night he arrived. He lives somewhere in this Lekki side. He lives large. All the money that they get for NBFF, BABS is the one in charge, Executive 5 chairman. My landlord read all the story, and he called me and said, this is bad. This guy is supposed to buy you a car. Instead, you are begging for a car from your fans. Buy you a car, build you a house in one of those Chevron areas, 4-bedroom duplex, and send you a driver and a housemate. Finish. Do I need anything from him? BABS, you owe me $103,000 for 18 years of child support. plus interest and plus the pain I went through with that child. But let's just say that 103,000. It's 50 million. And 30 million for a house near that Lake Chevron place. 10 for a car, 10 for a house girl. Shabang be 50 million. Just give me the 50 million, JJ. I want nothing to do with you. I'm not in love with you. I don't know you. I don't remember anything about you except for the fact that we dated briefly for 6 weeks and I was impregnated and you sent me away. I was 22. I'm now 57. I gave you a chance to talk to you. I called you. You hung up on me. I messaged you on WhatsApp. You blocked me. I messaged you on Signal. You blocked me. Obviously, you don't want to talk to me. So at the end of the day, I don't know his marital status. I don't know if he's married again, single. I don't think he's married again. My son told me that part. I don't know anything I don't want to know. All I want is my money and the DNA test. And I told my son, do you know the place where you took that DNA test? Because my son, autism, they remember everything. No? He said, yeah, I know, but I don't want you to go to Trenton. Trenton is a dangerous city. Drug dealers, drug addicts, all these people. If it goes to Trenton, to that clinic, and say, hi, I was here with my dad some months ago, August 13th. She said, I need my DNA test. I'm sure they'll put his name in the computer and they'll find it and they'll release the copy of the test to him. Babs took the copy of the DNA test, called his friend in Nigeria, and talked to his friend over the phone. His friend now recorded the conversation. And somebody else got that conversation. That clip. Babs, oh, L'Oreal. Oh, L'Oreal. You don't have any friends, oh, Babs. Today, November 27th, 2021. You don't have any friends. Because your friend put one of your relatives on the phone. And you on the phone. And that relative was listening. You told your friend, a high-ranking public official, that, oh, I met my son. Wow, he looks just like me. He looks just like me. We did the DNA test. Some of you that call Babs Jamba. Jamba means tragedy. And Jamba was his nickname because if you are tackling him on the basketball court, okay, then you're in trouble. Babs is in the Hall of Fame, Lagos State Hall of Fame, Unilag Hall of Fame, every Hall of Fame out there. He said with his own mouth on this conversation, in fact, it's Jamba Jr., taller than me, everything, looks like me. Why don't you accept that child to his mother? Why are you telling your friends? Now your friends recorded you. The audio got to me. I have it. Am I supposed to post it on the internet now and finish everybody? That wouldn't be nice, but at the end of the day, that is what we have. You're supposed to accept my child and tell me and apologize to me and my child. I'll be right back with how he ended. Finally, November 27th, 2021, Kemi Olunloyo. Basically what happened is now he has not come to me, nothing. He's blocked me all over the place. And my son did a 10-day marathon of messaging his father and sending me the screenshots. Please, I need you to help my mom. She's literally surviving in Lagos. She needs money. She needs a car. She needs help. She needs rent. Please, can you just send $103,000 to my mom? I looked online and I saw that you make a lot of money and you're this and that. The boy sent messages consecutively and screenshot all 10 days and sent it to me. His father did not reply to him. In between the first and the third message, he replied to me and said, I'm trying to tell you something, but I call you, you're yelling. My son is not happy. He calls him and he yells at him and said, why are you acting like a jerk? You're supposed to be my dad. You abandoned me for 35 years, blah, blah, blah. He hung up on the boy and said, I don't do social media, okay? I'm trying to give you some important information. When you're ready for it, call. When the boy was ready, he messaged you 10 times, Babs. You didn't answer him, so we just gave up on it. August, September, October, we moved on. Yesterday, November 26th, 2021, was Black Friday in Nigeria. The 25th was Thanksgiving. My son called me to say Happy Thanksgiving. We had turkey here and fixings too. But the one thing he said to me is that, Mommy, I've forgotten about that side. Oh, are you still talking to Bab's cousins and all? I said, no, I don't call anybody anymore. I don't really need them. I've done what I have to do. I've become what I have to become. But I just need to ask you one question. Do you know the question my son said? He said, Mommy, I just want to know whether you'll be there for me when I get married and have kids. At 35, shouldn't he be married with kids already? Shouldn't I be a grandma? But my son said, he has a girlfriend. He said, and his girlfriend is Oyibo. He said, when I get married and have kids, will you be there for me? Oh, I'll be there for you. Definitely. I'll be the grandma, I'll be everything. And he's the one that wants me to come back to America. There's no money in America. If I go back there now, I won't come back to Nigeria again. So at the end of the day, when your child talks to you, you need to listen. So I told him I'll be there for him. He wants to be able to bring his children to visit me, grandma's house. He wants all that, and he will get it as long as I'm alive and well. So I told him I would never let him down. I'll be there for him. He doesn't have to have a father. Osa, thank you very much. Osa Akpata. Yeah, thank you very much. Everybody that was there for me. But this is how my story ended. I don't think I'm going to write a book, but we're going to write a book together about his autism growing up. He's going to write a book from his standpoint of what happened in his life and how he met his father the one time and how his father still rejected him. Maybe one day they'll become king of Ijebu. I don't know. I don't care. We won't be there. We don't need them. So the Ogunades that came and reached out to me, God bless you all. Thank you very much, everybody. Kemi Olunloyo. Bye-bye. Clear? Yeah, I can hear you now. Any happy birthday. It's the 17th of February, 2022. Happy birthday. I know. Thank you, Mom. You're how old today? Thank you. Thank you. How old are you today? 35 years old. Wow, congratulations. 35. Do you have a wife and kids? What do you mean? I'm just joking with you. I said, do you have a wife and kids? You know, by 35, you should have married and had kids. Not yet, huh? No. Hell no. Not yet. Oh, I'm not ready for any of that. What are you planning to do for your birthday? I am planning to go to KatsuCon weekend at the National Harbor in Maryland. But your birthday is today. When is that? That's tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow is in your birthday. Actually, yeah, tomorrow's my birthday down here, and then also this weekend I'll be going to the convention at National Harbor at Galo Resort at the hotel. Very good. Wear your mask. Wash your hands. Are you calling your father? No, I'm not calling him. Has he spoken to you since August? No. Ever since he yelled at me over the phone. So he just I just don't feel like, I don't think I can get to know him anyway, because right now, the fact that he didn't do what he's supposed to do right now, I do not care anymore. Okay, let me ask you about that DNA test. Did you go get it? I did not. But do you know the results of it? I believe he's my dad. I have the results of the DNA. I got it. That's good. Are you happy? Happy for what? I mean, are you happy generally? As of right now, I am. Okay. Because right now, this weekend is I'm about to turn up. Okay, you're about to turn up. What does that mean? Party? Yes. Congratulations. I wish I was there.